rankings, ADP, correlation, game stacks. None of that stuff matters. At least that is what I hear sometimes on Twitter or in the YouTube comments. So today, this is our thought experiment. I'm just going to draft whoever I want to when I'm on the clock. My favorite player, I'm going to reach. I'm going to take guys from the right side of the board, put them on the left side of the board, and you guys are going to help me determine, is this a viable way to draft teams? It's short king summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's short king summer. All right, guys, this is a pretty easy one. We are on the clock at 1-4. And I'm just going to take Justin Jefferson, right? Leads the National Football League in yards per game receiving over every other player. That includes Jamar Chase by over 10 yards, plays in a dome. I am a believer in J.J. McCarthy. This is not a reach. This is not flipping the board. And I wouldn't expect that really to happen in the first round. I was kind of hoping for the sake of the video that maybe he was going to go, and what I was going to do was going to select Christian McCaffrey, and maybe that'll be an idea for a future video, dragging Christian McCaffrey up and seeing what those teams look like. But I do promise that this is going to be one of the weirder fantasy football teams that you have seen me draft on the Davis Mattek Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Justin Jefferson, not weird, perfectly cromulent selection. But let's just do an entire draft where we get our guys. So the selections available here actually work perfect for this exercise because all the guys you really want are gone right now. It's weird to see Drake London still available at this pick, but the Ladd McConkey, Jonathan Taylor group of guys, I mean, let's just be honest, dude. These are second round picks, in my opinion, by default. So I am going to select Rashee Rice at pick 21 because that's who I wanted to take. I think Rashee Rice is, he's live to be like a 1-2 turn pick, scored 21.5 points per game before Patrick Mahomes detonated his knee last year. You know, pretty inevitable that the market was going to overreact to that. Sounds like he's healthy. Sounds like this court case is not really going to happen this year. I was about to say it's not going to be a big deal. Is a big deal and will result in a suspension eventually, but it's not going to result in a suspension right now. So two of my favorite players just overall in fantasy football, Justin Jefferson and Rashee Rice. I sort of potentially consider Trey McBride there, but Trey McBride is what I would do if I was like drafting on stream and trying to be a nerd and trying to, maximize every last little bit of expected value out here. Probably no player I want to draft less here than T. Higgins. I'm drafting who I want. I'm drafting with my heart. I'm going to select Xavier Worthy with this pick. Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. Davis, you might be saying, isn't there someone who got Xavier Worthy at pick 45? I mean, his ADP is closer to 45 than 28. Aren't you worried? And the answer is, in general, yes, I would be worried because I'm drafting much more conscientious this year. I'm trying to draft like Justin Herzig. I'm trying to draft like Mike Leone. I'm trying to cull my exposures so beautifully. But now we're drafting like 2024, Davis. Is it going to work? I mean, honestly, I'm guessing probably not. I'm guessing that this team probably is not going to advance. But I also thought last week's 4 running back team to start was going to be awful. And it wasn't. The comments seemed to really like it. In the end, I didn't really hate it. So it'll be interesting to see like exactly a star-studded portion of the draft here, but there's very clearly a guy that I want, a all-time that boy nice. Just posted a tweet actually this morning about Jameson Williams and just how insanely good he is, and a YouTube short. Wow, sniped on a video. Well, you know what? I want RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey's fun. He's fast. He's cool. He's a huge Slappy pick. Certainly overdrafted relative to his consensus. Just kind of all the hallmarks of a Slappy pick. But guess what? That boy nice. There's mathematical basis for that pick. Of course, the Sean Payton, every year of his career, top 5 expected points out of the backfield for his running backs. It just happened that all the running backs in Denver last year were just like truly terrible. So we got a little bit of RJ Harvey. My next pick is going to be George Pickens. If I don't get, I mean, that was crazy to be sniped ahead of ADP in a video when I'm just sitting here all self-contained, all by myself. No one knows what I'm doing. Hopefully no one knows what I'm doing. All right. So there we go. We get George Pickens, a guy I have loved since he was in college, absolutely just a freak of nature, a true diva at the wide receiver position, something that I have always loved. And I think median projections are just too low right now on the Cowboys and on Pickens. I think there's every bit of chance that we see a 2020, 2021 version of the Dallas Cowboys where they're one of the highest scoring teams in the NFC. So we have got Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, RJ Harvey, and George Pickens in a draft wherever you want style draft. Drafting with our hearts, not with our heads here. Again, just a little bit a weirder of a spot. I mean, some guys that I basically only take purely out of deferring to the math, right? Jakobi Meyers, honestly, great example of that. James Conner, great example of that. You know who I absolutely would love to draft with my heart, not my head, with my that boy nice meter. Huge fan of Matthew Golden. Really couldn't be more in on Mr. Golden as a player. I think that the complainers, the non-ball knowers, they have too many questions about Matthew Golden that are very easily answered by how fast he is and by just simply, you can just ask yourself this question about Matthew Golden. What if the Packers had a wide receiver that was actually good? Because I'm not certain that we've actually seen it in the Jordan Love era. I mean, the closest we got, I suppose, was like the 3.5 healthy games that Christian Watson has ever played. And Matthew Golden is not that dissimilar of a player, but without some of the injury concerns. His hamstrings, are actually the same size. Again, a very easy pick for me here. Kaleb Johnson. Before the NFL draft and before the combine, I think that Kaleb Johnson, I thought he was the second best running back in the class. He had more yards from scrimmage than Iowa had passing. Not a typo. It's a true statement. I believe he had 1,963 scrimmage yards, and the team passed for 1,913 yards, I believe was the final fact and figure. Had he been able to run a 4.48, which he didn't, he ran a 4.58, I think he probably would have went ahead of Judkins. I think he probably would have went ahead of Travion Henderson. Clearly, the market is telling me that is an unpopular opinion. Arthur Smith got his guy. That's really as simple as it is. I think that we could see a clear 250 touch rookie season from Kaleb Johnson. If it was going to happen for Jaylen Warren, it was going to happen by now. This is I suppose not that dissimilar of a team to what I would normally draft. I obviously would have taken T. Higgins here. I definitely would have taken Devonta Smith or DJ. Actually, I would have for sure taken DJ Moore at pick 45. I would have taken Jakobi Meyers instead of Matthew Golden just for the math. And Kaleb Johnson would have been the same. So, we're about 50-50 head versus heart here. Unclear what the rest of the room will give us. Well, Luther Burden got absolutely rifled away from us. You absolutely hate to see it. No way am I taking Isaiah Pacheco on a team that I feel good about. So probably definition of drafting with my heart over my head is taking Travis Kelce as the tight end one here. Travis and I, we've been through an absolute journey together. I suppose, don't get me wrong, all the math-based drafters are in on Travis Kelce as well. Very high up in the easy sheet. Mike Clay hasn't projected really strong. Dwayne McFarland hasn't projected very strong on Fantasy Life. Leone hasn't projected very strong. ETR obviously is ahead of consensus there. But this is mostly just a team of like my favorite guys. 2 rookie running backs, Jefferson, Rice, Worthy, Pickens, Golden, Kelce. Love watching all these dudes play. Love all of their statistical profiles. And, we are just having a great time. I didn't want to take Emeka Egbuka anyways because Emeka Egbuka is boring and I don't really like him. So we are taking Dak Prescott. We've got the Dak Pickens stack set up. Mahomes went ahead of ADP here. I've always been a Dak Prescott guy. relative to consensus. I mean, that's the thing with Dak, is that when you think Dak is great, he's going to let you down. When you've totally counted Dak out, that's when you're getting the quarterback 4 season. Now, if I was trying to build a serious fantasy football team and hewing to the values, I would say, oh, we need a chaperone in this running back room. But guess what? When you're just drafting who you want and you know ball, you don't need a chaperone, because we have this year's breakout stars in RJ Harvey and Kaleb Johnson. Probably the absolute last person I would have drafted in this format where we are relying on knowing ball is Najee Harris. Also not interested in Zach Charbonnet. Hoping, wow, literally as I'm talking, Bashal Tutin gets picked. I mean, it's not going to, look, man, it's not going to get worse than that for you. Just watching Tutin get ripped from your clutches. You know who will, though? Jaydon Blue. Jaydon Blue, who I already have 24.6% of. Another rookie running back. I wonder if I have a type. Davis, do you have a type? It's so funny, too, because Jaydon Blue, I actually don't love as a player. I've said this a bunch of times on stream, but, he is, like, just literally kind of the definition of one trait, which is his speed. He did have a good college football playoff, so give credit to him there, and he just nutted out the landing spot where all he has to do is be better than Javonte Williams and be better than Miles Sanders. And frankly, I think even for the guy who headed into the 2024 season as the running back 4 for the Texas Longhorns, I think that he can probably accomplish that. Another rookie running back, so I might need to think about that. In terms of the next pick, Christian Kirk would never make it on this list. We're probably going to be waiting for JJ McCarthy. If we don't get JJ McCarthy, whatever. We could take Jordan Love here. Actually, this will probably end up being an Anthony Richardson team because I'm just taking whoever I want here. Another guy that I love actually is David Njoku. David Njoku, 116 points last year, 160 the year before, and no one wants him. And why does no one want him? Because they don't know who his quarterback is, but sometimes that doesn't matter, right? Sometimes not having a quarterback, particularly on this team, is not going to matter because, spoiler alert, we're probably going to be taking Jackson Dart, potentially Anthony Richardson, because we are just relying purely on our ball knowledge. But is there more of a ball knowers pick than David Njoku? Honestly, I don't think so. I think he might be the top ball knowers pick. All right, we're back up here, round 12, round 13. This is frankly, this is the start of the draft where both Hayden Winks' research and Leone's research has shown you can kind of just take whoever you want. So I'm going to take Ray Davis here. One, I like Ray Davis. I like that he's like a 27-year-old second-year running back. Other reason is, part of drafting who you want and knowing ball is also hating. And I am a noted James Cook hater. James Cook leading the NFL in touchdowns on less than 50% of Buffalo snaps is so non-repeatable. Liam is pulling his hair out right now, saying that I'm a hater. But I feel like Ray Davis's role, frankly, has nowhere to go but up. And, if James Cook goes back to being the passing down back, anyway, I think Ray Davis has a lot of outs. And, I mean, we did get one answer. Like, James Cook did miss a game last year. Ty Johnson, quote unquote, started, but Ray Davis was the man in that game. In terms of other, like, oh, I love this guy, my guy type stuff here in this range, there's not really much here. I kind of missed out on a group of guys that I did like. I do have Jaylin Noel ranked way ahead of consensus, so that's who I'm going to take here, which is, again, directly related to hating because I am such an anti-Christian Kirk guy. So we're going to take Jaylin Noel. We are a little bit hard up at week 10 buys. Rice, Worthy, and Pickens all have the same week 10 buy. We got the Cowboys stuff. A little bit interested to see if I'm even able to come close to landing this plane by just knowing ball. Bit of an interesting spot here, as again, the picks don't really matter. Could take Geno, who I like, but what's the point? I don't have Besh, I don't have Bowers, I don't have Myers. I guess you could take like Mostert or something. Richardson is honestly who I want to take, so that's who I am gonna take, and I might even double backstack him. I know Daniel Jones is probably going to start, 8 games or something for the Indianapolis Colts this year. And you guys know it too. And the market knows it's too. That's why you can take him there. But I mean, would it really shock you if Richardson goes on like a decent run this year and Daniel Jones goes and signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Vikings, or I don't know where he could, Raiders maybe, maybe the Geno experiment doesn't work out, and Richardson just like absolutely smashes the fantasy football playoffs, a la Justin Fields from, what was that, 2022, when he went absolutely nuclear in the fantasy football playoffs. Not gonna surprise me. And you know what? I'm not taking Alec Pierce either. No interest in Mr. Pierce at this stage. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to actually, I need a running back. So I'm just going to take Roschon Johnson, another guy who I loved Roschon Johnson as a prospect. I loved him as a rookie. I don't love that it doesn't look like he has any palpable juice in the NFL, but I do like him as a way to leverage off of DeAndre Swift. Speaking of hating. All right, penciling in a couple guys here. First one being Adonai Mitchell. No way is A.D. Mitchell not getting drafted on this team. And you know what? A.D. Mitchell is like the most obvious 18th round pick. I mean, sure, probably it won't work, but look at the guys who go around him in ADP. Just the dustiest losers, right? A.D. Mitchell, that is an obvious pick. He's our 7th wide receiver. I mean, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Austin, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Tolbert, even guys I kind of like Roman Wilson. A.D. Mitchell was 9th in the NFL in targets per route run last year. Like, just truly, truly insane stuff that you can actually get a guy of his profile late. And sure, right, might not have the quarterback play, might not even be on the field. But, I mean, one, we did see when Pittman, Downs, or Pierce got injured, Mitchell does slot right into the starting lineup. There's not really anyone they have there. They might be marginally better at passing this year. I mean, you can hope and pray and think. Going to be a very easy pick here for our final running back, because all we want to do here is no ball. I don't need to care about Woody Marks, whatever. I don't need to care about Keaton Mitchell. None of this matters. I don't need a chaperone. Clearly, when Jaydon Blue is your running back 3 and you have 3 rookies, you don't care about chaperones at all. I'm going to be selecting Ollie Gordon with this pick. Ollie Gordon, a guy I loved watching in college. No idea what happened to him. Obviously, his final year at Oklahoma State. Very funny that Jalen Wright goes right after him, but he's a 230-pound guy. He is a more natural fit for the Mostert role in that Miami Dolphins offense. Not going to lie, guys, we're kind of cooking here. Dak Prescott, Anthony Richardson, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Jaydon Blue, Ray Davis, Roschon Johnson, Ollie Gordon, Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Jaylin Noel, A.D. Mitchell, Travis Kelce, and David Njoku. I kind of think the ball-knowing team, I mean, don't quote me, man, but it's kind of nice. Final selection, very easy. Very easy. This is going to be Dontayvion Wicks. Could it have been anyone? But we're knowing ball. We're drafting with our heart, not with our head. Had to be Dontayvion Wicks. Final team of the draft with your head, not your heart. Dak Prescott, double stacked. Anthony Richardson stacked with A.D. Mitchell. RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Jaydon Blue. We did miss on Bashal Tootin. That sucked. Ray Davis, Roschon Johnson, Ollie Gordon. Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens. Matthew Golden, Jaylin Noel, A.D. Mitchell, Dontayvion Wicks. Frankly, turned out pretty good. I think that this is a fun way to draft. I wouldn't do it all that often. I wouldn't just say, oh, I'm going to reach for whoever. I'm going to reach for Golden. I'm going to reach for Worthy. I'm going to reach for Jaydon Blue. Like, I would not do this with every draft. But it is a fun way to draft. You know, if you're going to draft 500 teams this summer, heck, man, if you're going to draft 25, I think you should do a couple where you're just like, you know what, man? I want to make sure to get Jaydon freaking Blue. If you like the video, please, please, please make sure to like the video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and patreon.com/Davis Mattek. Really trying to get things up and running there. Trying to make my dream in fantasy sports happen. So please support over at patreon.com/Davis Mattek or become a member to the channel. and I will see all of you guys soon.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short